Let's roll. Winter Game Central has begun. I am Gabe Morency on the SportsGrid Television Network, Roku Television, and more. The Olympics roll on, and we're now getting into the knockout stage, and we're into the final week of competition. And it's been pretty entertaining Olympic Games so far, but for the most part, people were focused in on the men's and the women's hockey, at least in North America. That's the highlight and the showcase sport. Let's start off with the USA women's hockey team that are on the verge of one of the most dominant runs in women's hockey history, as they've just absolutely smashed the opposition, getting to the gold medal game. Now, this doesn't really come as a surprise for those of you that tuned in to the program and our previews of the women's hockey. This is far from a surprise. All right, this is the 8th time that we've had women's hockey in the Olympics, and 6 of the 7 times it's been Canada versus the USA. All right, so but the pendulum is swung right now. The USA have the momentum, and it's amazing that the USA were like minus 138, minus 140 in that neighborhood to win a gold medal before the Olympics started. And we told you, listen, hammer it, put it in parlays, do what you want with it, but the USA are going to win the gold medal. Now it's minus 700. Like literally, figuratively, minus 700. It was minus 400 immediately after Canada's game today. And the bettors, like, I wouldn't think, I've been surprised. One thing I've been surprised about, I want to get to this actually. One thing I've been surprised about has been the volume and the line movement on women's hockey. Right? Like, I bet women's hockey, the professional league, the PWHL, and it's a real niche sport, right? People bet on it, but it's a niche sport. Every book has it. There's not a lot of line movement. Like, there'll be a little bit of movement, but not a lot. But the market has been very sharp with the women's games, and I was just surprised to see it go from minus 400 to minus 700 in the span of a couple hours. The puck line went from 1.5 to 2.5. Yet this American team just has been absolutely dominant. 5-0 win against Sweden, which, you know, there were some moments where the Swedes hung around. The thing is, the women goalies are really good, right? So, like, on pretty much every country, they know we're not as good as the United States and Canada is. So we better have a really good goalie to make up for it. So every team basically does have a very good goalie, and it'll be the same situation. It'll be the same situation with Canada and the U.S. Canada's goalie is really good. The U.S. will have a million shots and stuff, but it'll be hard for them to score. Yet they're going to outmatch Canada. Canada also survived today, but they only won 2-1 against Team Switzerland. They were 4.5 goal favorites, to put it in context. And this Canadian women's team, they're still the second best, but the gap is starting to close. And after the game, the Swiss women said that was the first time that we've ever played Canada that we thought we had a chance of winning, like in the game, which is like unheard of. Like that never basically, you know what I mean? Like I said, like they said, yeah, it's the first time ever that we thought we had a chance to beat them. But I tell you what, this American run that they're on right now is just next level. They haven't given up a goal in 331 minutes. The U.S. They haven't trailed in the tournament at all. They haven't given up a goal in 331 minutes and 23 seconds. They've given up 1 goal in the entire tournament. It's just been an absolute dominant run for this USA women's team, but they have 1 more game left. So for the record, that game is going to be Thursday afternoon at 1:10 Eastern time. Thursday afternoon, 1:10 Eastern time is puck drop, 1 o'clock broadcast, but 1:10 puck drop Thursday afternoon. We'll get you caught today with the final numbers before we're done here. But I was talking about the betting, and I saw something today as far as Polymarket is concerned. And Polymarket's market on the men's hockey, $14 million. Pretty interesting. I was surprised. It's a pretty significant amount of money that's been traded on the men's hockey futures, not just the games, but the futures. There's $14 million essentially on Canada and the USA to win. Like it's kind of split, etc., for Canada and the US. So the there has been enthusiasm in the betting market about the Winter Games when it comes to the hockey. But I think one of the reasons is it's kind of the only sport that everybody kind of knows, right? Not everybody understands curling. Now, people don't really watch downhill skiing and the pro circuit and stuff like that. So people know hockey. It's NHL players, and they understand women's hockey. But curling has actually been one of the big stories of the Olympic Games, and Canada has been at the forefront of this as Team Canada's men's curlers were accused of cheating. Now, I think cheating is kind of a strong word in the sense that, like, you know what I mean? Like, they're not using like crooked rocks or lighted rocks or something like that. So cheating is a little bit of a, basically Canada's players have been accused of touching the rock illegally after so they kind of shoot the rock, and then as they're shooting the rock, Buddy on Canada kind of pushed it with his hand a little bit. And from what I understand in the curling world, everybody kind of does it every once in a while, and nobody ever calls you out on it. But that Canada is over the top of doing it. It's almost like lining up offside or something. Like, you know what I mean? It's like a little dirty trick within the right. And curling is a gentleman's sport. Like, they don't even have a referee there. Like, they have an official, but it's basically like the players do it unless there's like a major controversy, which there isn't. Like, they bring in someone to measure sometimes. That's about it. Like, so like there's this big controversy, and I'm sure you saw it by now, but man, it's unbelievable the gifs and the memes and stuff out there with Team Canada. Like Mona Lisa's, Italian this, them touching rocks and this and that. And then the woman did it. The Canadian women did it the next day. And they're dropping F-bombs, and the Swedish dude said, "We filmed you." And then it turned out that the Swedes were tired of Canada doing this. So they set up a camera, basically, like right where the line was, to back it up. Then they accused Canada. And if you saw, Buddy on Canada started dropping F-bombs, and it looked like there was going to be an actual fight, which is unheard of in curling. So Canada became the villains, and for the record, now he's getting death threats, and his wife had to shut down her Instagram and all that because she's getting attacked online. And hell, I got attacked online for calling Canada out for it, and I never thought in a million years coming into these Olympic Games I'd be told to go F myself from curling fans in Canada because I said we got to stop touching rocks. Never thought I'd be saying that. Stop touching the rock, man. But I tell you what, it's motivated Team Canada's men's curling team a lot. They've been on fire since this happened, and Sweden didn't win since it happened. So it makes you wonder if Sweden should have just shut up about it. But it really has brought in a lot of eyeballs on the curling. And if you remember before the game started, I said curling is one of these sports that no one ever pays attention to, but in the Olympics, everybody does. And lo and behold, here we go again. There's going to be a big spike in curling because of this. People are like, hell, George Kurtz was on with us earlier. Kurtz doesn't watch anything, right? Kurtz watches NHL hockey and Major League Baseball and NFL football. And even George Kurtz has gotten into the curling. And he said, yeah, I'm getting into the curling. I'm telling you, there's something about it like that. You're like, nah, you're not, you don't want to, you're not going to watch a curling match for an hour and a half or something like that. But when you start watching it, you really do get into it. Like, the players have a big personalities, and they're all yelling, and you can hear that's cool that you can hear them talking. So you can hear them talking about the shots and stuff like that. And now and then, I've never heard curlers talk smack to each other before, but in this Olympic Games, everybody's talking smack to Team Canada. So the Team Canada matches are must watch, the women and the men's right now. So as far as the medal count is concerned, we told you before the game started, and this is one of those absolutely positively slam dunk locks. Guys, Norway was minus 145. Ended up closing at minus 170. That Norway would win the most gold medals. They're at 12 right now. And I tell you what, the U.S. have had a hell of a game. They racked up another gold medal today. And in fact, they set a record. Congratulations to Alana Myers-Taylor. I know there was two names here that I wanted to get right. Alana Myers-Taylor, 41 years old. She becomes the oldest male or female gold medal Olympian in U.S. history. Bobsleigh.
How about selling it to a minority ownership group that could show the NFL is moving in the right direction? Hey, it's one thing to talk about black coaches in the National Football League. It's one thing to talk about black general managers. It's another thing to start talking about a minority owner owning the football team.
Outspoken with Dan Cilio, only on SportsGrid.
They actually play Miami and nobody else. Bum after bum after bum. Now, the key ingredient to this clause, though, Joe, college football undefeated season. Ooh, no, wait, Donnie. You go undefeated in the regular season, you got to win like 4 games to win that championship. No, you don't. It's regular season. Notre Dame, the kings of duck, and say, hey, we're going to play the easiest schedule ever. They got it.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
The money line keeps climbing, though, if you'll notice.
Yes.
The point spread hasn't moved. It's been locked in at 4.5. The money line, though, keeps creeping up, man. It was 210, and it's funny because normally you figure the number would be correlated, right? It's like, all right, the money line, the point spread's this, that means the money line is that, which tells us there's a lot of money line plays coming in on Seattle.
In-game live, only on SportsGrid.
He completed a pool bank shot at just 2 years and 302 days. His achievements make him one of the youngest double record holders ever. So let me summarize this for you without reading. He's 2 years old, and he's really good at pool. I mean, that is crazy. 2 years old! How is he doing this? I have no idea. So I guess we got to start training our youngsters to play pool. Okay, fair enough.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Winter Game Central continues on the SportsGrid Television Network. I am Gabe Morency. Iowa State and Houston are in action right now, and we have an Olympic tie-in here, actually. Nate Heise of the Iowa State Cyclones, his sister Taylor Heise, is a big hockey star, and she's on the Minnesota Fleet, the PWHL. They won the championship. I think they won twice, actually, or is it Boston? Whatever. She's won a championship, and yeah, she's lighting it up in the Olympics. So it's a small world watching the college basketball game right now. And they start showing Taylor Heise, Nate Heise's sister, actually getting it done. So as far as the Olympics, speaking of getting it done, I want to get to this before we get to some hockey talk here. But so they went through 10,000 condoms in 3 days in the Olympic Village. We talked about it before the game started about how it's a big party in the village, but 10,000 condoms in three days is pretty vicious. Now, for the record, if you're concerned about the athletes in the village, they've been refurbished inside the village. But some Olympic athletes said, I guess how it works is it's not just a free-for-all. You can grab as many as you want. They give each athlete 2. And so each athlete gets 2 condoms, and you can ask for more after, but you're given 2 when you show up, etc. So they're starting to pop up on the markets, in the secondary markets. A lot of these Olympic athletes don't make a lot of money, and they're keepsakes and stuff, but is that really a piece of memorabilia that you'd want to buy? But evidently, yes, people are. They're going for $125 each. 1 condom with the Olympic logos on it and all that. Right, this has got the village and the whole, you know what I mean? It's the official Olympic condom. So if you want to add it to your collection, just go online and you can pick one up for about $125 right now. So qualifications are over. We're into the knockout stage now. Now this is when it's going to get good. And the men's hockey has been really good. The competition has been, it's been fun. It's been good. The time zones aren't ideal for us in North America. They're in, 6 a.m, 3 o'clock overnight on the West Coast and stuff. And tonight I might get suckered into staying up because I generally go to bed like around 3. Depends on a given night, but I don't go to bed at 1 o'clock or anything like that. That's it's unheard of. I generally go to bed at about 3 a.m, 4 a.m and stuff. I used to go to bed later, but I try to make sure 3 is kind of the cutoff now, 3:30 type thing. But the problem is the hockey game starts at 3, right? So, I'm always like, nah, I don't want to get sucked into it because then the hockey game starts and I get dragged into this thing until 5 in the morning, right? And tonight's one of those nights. And then I always just tell myself, like, when it's going on, that I'm like, man, the Olympics are only once every 4 years. So, yeah, all right, just suck it up. Like, it's only once. Hell, the gold medal game is going to be 5 in the morning on the West Coast, which is not ideal. It would be okay if I wasn't going out the night before, but it's the Vancouver Canucks or the Vancouver Whitecaps season opener. God, Canucks, I can't believe I'm saying MLS. Soccer's back already. So soccer's back already. Before hockey's back, actually. So yeah, MLS season starts this weekend. And I'm going to the Salt Lake Vancouver game. And then, so I got the game overnight and stuff like that. And I'll tell you what, if I go out for a couple of drinks at the game, I'm not going to want to wake up at 5 in the morning after. Like, I'll be up, like, pretty much. So I'll just have to ride this one through on Sunday. That is, unless, there's some massive upset and whatever. I won't watch. I'll be like, well, I'm not waking up to watch Germany versus Slovakia for the gold medal. But so speaking of Germany are first up, along with Switzerland and Italy. 6:10 a.m. Eastern time this morning, overnight, Tuesday morning, 3 o'clock, 3:10 on the West Coast, etc. So you got Leon Draisaitl, Tim Stützle, Grubauer and company. Germany were overwhelmed by the United States, but they're going to be able to overwhelm France here. Germany are 2.5 goal favorites in this game, -140, -2.5. The total is 6.5. Germany are up to -800 on the money line right now. And yes, we will parlay all 4 favorites. I'd like to tell you there's going to be an upset here, but that's where I was going with it's been okay. It's been good, the hockey and stuff. It's fun to see all these best players on the ice, but we haven't had too many, like, evenly matched matchups yet. There's been a lot of one-sided games, like Canada versus France, whatever. It was 10-2, man. You know what I mean? But, USA had an easy group. There was only one hard group, and it was the group with Sweden, Finland, and Slovakia. Those were the good games. Those were like, wow, these are really good games because they were all sort of NHL players for the most part. But now that we're like this round here is the last round before it gets real. So the way things should play out here, and it should be pretty interesting, is so Germany and France. France are just overmatched. Coming into the tournament, we knew that Italy and France were the 2 worst teams, and France are a little better than Italy, but not by much. And don't forget, they're going to pull the goalie if they're down by a couple of goals. So either they get blown out and Germany wins convincingly, like 5-6-0 or something like that, and or, okay, let's say France plays the game of their life and they're hanging around and they're only losing 3-2 or 2-1 with 5 minutes left. They're going to pull their goalie. And if they give up an empty net goal, they'll still pull their goalie after. And I don't think they're going to be down by, I think honestly, there's a better chance of them being down by 2 or 3 late, and they still pull their goalie, but not even. I kind of think Germany's going to win like 5. I think Germany will win convincingly, like 5-0 or something. So you got to lay 2.5, yes. Love it in a money line parlay. Germany is beating France, and we'll lay the 2.5 goals here in this game. And we'll recap our best bets after. Switzerland and Italy. I don't know. Italy are all over the place. Like, Italy got murdered by Finland. One of the games, their goalie stood on his head and made like 52 saves or 49 saves before he got hurt. So, Italy are Italy going to hang around here? Switzerland are definitely going to win, but I'm not really in love with laying 3.5 with the Swiss, although they're probably going to win like 5-1 or something like that. I think, listen, the odds makers have been pretty sharp actually with the men's hockey lines. Right? Like when it's 4.5, they win by 4 or 5. So they've got this one down 3.5. And this game is almost, you lay the line with Switzerland, right? You lay the 3.5, and or if you're not comfortable with that, you have to put in a money line parlay. But they are 22-1 on the money line right now. So it really only moves your parlay like 10 cents or something. Right? So you can, if you just want to skip this game, this is the one to skip. Czechia -1.5 against Denmark. I think they'll cover. This is another one where I think there'll be an empty netter coming. Denmark are going to be best bet.
We went against this god-awful biggest waste of human flesh and basketball uniform Western Illinois team last time out. Remember, they actually won a game against Eastern Illinois, only their 5th win on the season, 5-21, only their 1st win in conference play in the Ohio Valley. They're hosting Little Rock. You know, Little Rock is 6-8. They're halfway decent. I mean, they're better than 5-21.
In-game live only on SportsGrid.
They're probably not going to take a lot of Seattle bets. Putting Kansas City at the same number as Detroit or behind LA, way behind Green Bay, way behind Buffalo or Baltimore, who they beat every year, it feels like they are asking for Chiefs money. That would be my read on it, which I feel like usually the idea, Cam, is they never have to ask for Chiefs money.
Game time decisions only on SportsGrid.
Class is in session. Today, let's talk about the teaser. A teaser is a multi-leg bet where you shift the point spread in your favor. You get better numbers, but every selection has to win. It doesn't matter what you bet if you don't have the insights. Tune into SportsGrid and get ahead of the class.
Was last night so tough for you to swallow that you now want to get rid of the owner?
Yeah, that's right.
Because the big bad Knicks came into town off an embarrassing loss,
on a
and you
back-to-back.
guys are flexing your muscles.
They
about
were not
how
flexing anything.
We're back.
Nope.
We're back. And you lost by 50?
Yeah, well, this is the problem.
Let's make the owner sell the team because
Man, he ducked the luxury
Sixers
tax.
can't compete.
The Craig Carton Show only on SportsGrid.
Winter Game Central continues, although we are to our final round here on the program. So we were going over the men's hockey game, setting the schedule for you. So Germany and France, 6:10 a.m. Germany, big favorite. Switzerland, Italy. Switzerland, 3.5 goal favorites. That game is also at 6:10 a.m. And then we got a 10:40 a.m. game and a 3:10 p.m. game. So Sweden and Latvia are the last ones up at 3:10 Eastern time. Sweden are 13-1 on the money line. And so I picked Sweden to win a medal before the tournament started, but it's not going to be easy for them. As Sweden wins this game, they would face off against the United States. That'll be a hell of a game, though. And I tell you, if you're the U.S., you're not happy about that either. Like, that is not an easy game for you to get if you're the United States. But Sweden are very front-runner-ish. Right? Like, if things go well for Sweden and they score early and they're winning a game and stuff, like, everything goes well for them. They'll play well and they'll win the game. Right? But they don't respond well to adversity, this team. So if you get up like 2-0 on Sweden early and stuff, you can rattle them. And that'll be key, man. The first period of Sweden-USA is going to be legit. Like, that's going to be some elite hockey. Right? Like, we've got some real good hockey coming up around the corner here. So as far as our best bets are concerned, let's start off on the ice, actually. And we're talking about the Germans. You know, I bet on Leon Draisaitl to have the most goals for Team Germany. You figure, yeah, come on. Like, how is Draisaitl not going to have the most goals? Tim Stützle's been fire, man. Tim Stützle's been unbelievable for the Germans in this tournament. So I'm going to need Draisaitl to score a couple of goals if I'm going to want to win that. But so let's start off with our first bet here. We'll go with the Germans, -2.5. It was -135. It's -140 right now. But I do believe the Germans are going to win this game. I think they're going to win like 5-0. 5-1, 5-0, in that range. You know what I mean? 4-1 at the worst, that we cover the 2.5. As I stated, France will have to pull their goalie, even if it is close. So let's lay the 2.5 with the Germans. I think the Draisaitl will get on the score sheet. I think the Tim Stützle will also get on the score sheet as well. They're going to score goals. We just saw France give up like 11 to Canada. They gave up 6 to the Czech Republic. They're going to give up goals. And it's the Olympics. It's only every 4 years. NHL players haven't been in the Olympics since 2014. Everybody wants to score. So it's not like they're going to take it easy on them. They don't. You saw like Canada could have taken the pedal off the metal against France, and they didn't, right? It's like, no, we're here every 4 years. We're going to play for real for 60 minutes. So let's play the 2.5 of the Germans. We'll play a money line parlay. Now, speaking of how the money lines move, when I submitted, I sent our picks in before the show, so for the graphics, and a Germany, a Czechia, Switzerland, Sweden parlay was minus 159. Now at the same book, it's minus 173. And these games are at 6 in the morning. I imagine by the time we get to game time, it'll be like minus 200. Like, nobody's going to be taking the underdogs. Everybody globally that bets on hockey everybody is going to take every favorite here because there really doesn't seem to be an upset here, right? It's like, yeah, maybe, but no. I think there could be some upsets in the next round, right? I think there could be some upsets in the next round, but not quite yet. All right, let's mix it up a little bit here. Men's biathlon. Men's biathlon, cross-country skiing. Man, are we really going to overthink this thing? Norway, all right? Norway were plus money earlier in the day, and I see now it's into the minus side of things. So I got Norway here at minus 112. It seems as if, though, it's really a two-country race for gold here between France and Norway. And France's odds are kind of right there, actually. Like, France are like plus 220 right now, and then there's a big drop-off to everybody else. So it seems, and I noticed the French women killed it. The French women were really good in a lot of this cross-country skiing stuff and the biathlon. But I'm not going to overthink things here. Norway, this is their sport. And we got the men's relay here. Give me the men's, Norwegians men's team to win the men's relay. I spoke earlier about how it's been a great games for USA. It really has been. Like this has been a very successful U.S. Campaign in the Winter Games as far as medals and gold medals and different sports. And I think there's another gold medal coming here. We have the men's freestyle big air. A lot of fun, this skiing stuff. I grew up, with the slalom and, the alpine and downhill stuff. And I love that stuff. Big fan of it. It's, super cool to watch. But the all these new sort of trick stuff, it's very X Games like, right? And I got no problem with it. The Olympics X Gamed up, a lot of their stuff. And it's a lot of fun. So let's go with Mac Forehand. Mac Forehand to win men's freestyle big air USA. Mac Forehand. You're getting plus 200. Nice for Mac to win. He's won before. He's going to win. Winter Game Central. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Build around what somebody does well. What is the DNA, the nucleus of what they do? Yeah. And everybody who gets to the tour is great at something because they're the top 1% of the 1% of golfers around the world. So I think people sometimes forget that, that won't work. Well, if you'd gone back 15 years, people would look at Scotty Scheffler and probably go, that's not going to work.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
Super Bowl Sunday, about $870 million was traded. Again, I caution you, that is not the same as sports betting handle for a variety of reasons, but we also saw Nevada sportsbooks, which includes Las Vegas, only took about $133 million in handle. That was its worst performance in the decade in terms of total handle on the game. Now, we don't have ratings. We don't have a lot of other things. There's a lot of reasons for that.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
The Patriots postseason to the worst regular season of the last umpteen years. Fair enough?
Fair.
All right. So the Patriots postseason, they averaged 1.13 points per drive, okay? Mm-hmm. The winless Cleveland Browns about 10 years ago averaged 1.22.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
So Gary Bettman wants the USA to win because he knows the bump that they can get out of this. Canada wins, and it's like, yeah, whatever, right? And the level of pressure on Canada in this is next level. It's like it's equivalent to like Argentina in soccer or something, Brazil. It's one of those like, yeah, if you lose, don't bother coming home.
Winter Game Central, only on SportsGrid.